Hey, what's going on YouTube? Dreamy Pisces back to do another video. I'm on my way back to the big 757. Just dropped my son off in Richmond. My son is in art school. I'm so proud of him. And it's so great to have children that are creative. I've always had a creative spirit. As you can see, my name is Dreamy Pisces. So if you know anything about Pisces, we love to create anything we can get our hands on. We like to create. So luckily, my son, he's 19. His name is Christian, and he is a creator. Also, he is a painter. He sketches. He's in, like I said, in the art program, and he's also a musician. Even though he's kind of put his guitar down, but he enjoys playing music as well. I'm really hoping that he'll pick that back up. But I just wanted to talk about creativity and how I feel in my heart about creativity and how important it is to build things, to make things, or if you're a singer, if you're an artist. And art can be so many different things. Art is just this, it can be this physical expression. It could be, writing or poetry. It's just something beautiful, but it's just important that we find something to do. We find out what it is that we do good and that we do it. My current projects, if you look at my channel, I am a jewelry designer. I have a company. It's called Dreamy Beads by SharonV. Even though I'm Dreamy Pisces, but my name is Sharon Victoria. So Dreamy Beads by SharonV, that is my company that I built. And it's amazing to see. I started it back in 2015. And it's just evolved into something beautiful. It's doing really well. I have, consistent orders coming in for my jewelry, and I'm just so happy. I'm happy to do this, to do what I'm doing. I used to work a 9-to-5 job, and I was a human resources representative, and I enjoyed what I was doing, except for the part of doing reports and paperwork. And it would just be endless reporting and paperwork. And I'm like, I got to do something else. I just didn't feel happy and satisfied with what I was doing with my time. I felt like I was wasting my life. So back in 2015, I decided to dive into jewelry. It's something I wanted to do as a child. I remember when I was a little girl going into the 6th grade, I had the option to take a jewelry making class, and I asked my mother if I could take this class, and my mom said no, and she made me play the trumpet instead. And I had to play the trumpet, and I had braces. A little bit later on, when I got a little bit older, I ended up getting braces put on my teeth. So if you can imagine playing the trumpet and it's pressing up against your lips, and it was just a very uncomfortable, painful experience. And I'm not really sure why she didn't let me take the jewelry making class. So finally in 2015, my soul, I had my spiritual awakening in 2013. I might even have my dates all wrong, but 2013, and my whole life just changed, and my spirit eventually told me to, it might have been 2014 that I started Dreamy Beads, but it told me to make jewelry. And I said, okay. And I, was given the vision of these wrap bracelets. And I went out and I bought my products. And the man that I am with now, he assisted me with purchasing a bead board. And I just started making them. And it just kind of took off from there. And I started making them for the people on my job. They were the first people that I started creating for. And I started creating for him. And it was really good. And now, I'm not just dealing in beads. I would do copper work. I make these awesome copper bracelets, copper bangles. And you can see my work if you're interested. If you want to go to Instagram, you can just do a hashtag Dreamy Beads, and you can see like pretty much my whole portfolio, everything that I've done. You can see how I've evolved from way back when to now. And and my spirit is constantly giving me messages, and little spurts of inspiration will pop into my mind. And when we get those spurts of inspiration, it's important to act on them right then. On top of doing my jewelry business, I'm also working towards getting my bachelor's degree in metaphysical psychology. My metaphysical teachings teach me about that divine inspiration, that we should never think that when these things pop into our mind, oh, it's just a thought. No, it's not just a thought. It's a divinely inspired thought, and we must act on it. So if I get a thought in my mind of how I should photograph my jewelry, or the type of music that I should use when I'm creating a video to promote my jewelry, or a design, a color, anything like that, I have to act on it, and I have to act on it right then, or at least write it down, because I find that we get a lot of divinely inspired thoughts that we don't act on, and they disappear. We forget about them. So I find that for those of us that do like to create, it's important to have a notebook where you can write your ideas down, write your thoughts down when they come to you, because it might not be something that you need to do right now, but it might be something that will come in handy a little bit later. And you'll be like, oh wow, I remember last year I wrote that down in my book, and now guess what? It's time to bring that thought to fruition and make it happen. And when we do that, that is where the true manifestation process comes from. I think about my copper bangles. I wish I had one on me right now so I could show you. I might insert a picture. That thought, the first thought about the bracelet came to me one day. I was sitting in the backyard at the picnic table in the sun, and I was doing a meditation session, and all of a sudden I had this vision of this bracelet, and I said, wow, so what I did, I had my notebook and I scribbled, my thoughts down. I drew the picture of the bracelet. And I was like, man, how am I going to do this? Shortly thereafter, more images and thoughts and messages came into my mind on how to construct this bracelet. So I decided to, I came in contact. It was like, everything that I needed came to me. I was put in contact with this guy that actually taught me how to wrap stones and work with copper, because I really hadn't worked with copper, and the inspiration just kept coming. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Lowe's and I'm gonna go buy some copper wire. I started doing research on where can I get this copper wire, because he was just saying, oh, just get some scrap metal. I'm like, I don't even know where to get that from. And he's like, you probably have some in the garage. But I was like, that's too much. So I just decided I'm gonna go to Lowe's. So I went to Lowe's and I talked to them, where can I find copper wire? And it comes on a spool. And I figured out, I tried different ways on how to strip the wire, but I finally found a way that was easy and doable. So I stripped the wire, and then I got my pliers and my needle nose pliers, and I just started working with it and twisting it, and I tried and tried, and then one day I created this bracelet and I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. And then I made more and more and more, and I started posting them, and then people started commenting how beautiful they were. And I was like, wow, okay, let me take good photos, make sure my photos are good. I posted my photos, get more feedback. Then people are like, I want one. Then I start making it for people. And then next thing I knew, I was able to do like a jewelry show where I could sell my jewelry, and people were just like, oh, this is so cool, this is different. So I had created something different that I haven't seen these types of bracelets. I've seen a lot of copper work out there, some really beautiful stuff that might even be quote unquote better than mine, but it was an original idea that was inspired, divinely inspired, channeled into my mind, and then I physically made it happen with my hands, creating the manifestation. And that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. If you are inspired, it's something in the back of your mind that's like, write a children's book, write a cookbook, write a song, get on your guitar and just create this new melody. Do it. Do it. That is the source, the universal source that we are all a part of. That is what is speaking to us and leading us and guiding us to do our divine purpose. This is about how to manifest your dreams, how to manifest success. And it's slow sometimes. Sometimes I've had moments where I wasn't getting any orders. I was just like, I'm posting this stuff. Nobody's really, giving me any feedback. But that's when you have to keep going. Keep going. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop.